Hey, what's up, it's Rashad, Antonio, the MCU Collective. We are here because of one thing and one thing only, and that is X-Men 97, Episode 10, Tolerance is Extinction Part 3, and the what we know as the season finale, not the series. Got more to go.
Thank God.
Praise the Lord. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, man, all spoilers, yo. Got some about the thing to talk about, I think, as I always say. So I want to say that off the top, man, we want to just give a virtual hug and high fives to all the people who made this. Vote Mayo, wherever you are. You know what I'm saying? All the other writers, animators, Kevin Feige, you know what I'm saying? Just everybody over there at the yeah, everybody over
Anyone
there.
involved in this,
Man, I don't care what you did on the show, man.
dude,
If you was a part of it, you deserve all the respects you get. You know what I'm saying? Even
bravo.
Brad Winderbaum, Victoria Alonso, who's no longer with Marvel as well. Still get them credits, girl. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Say you was
get
part of something great.
get them credits, girl. Anyway, yeah, man. Like this has just been a it's been a joy to watch and also to cover as always. Because sometimes we kind of just get into something and it don't shape out how you want it to be. But I can't lie, I am a completionist, so I watched the whole thing. But yeah, this has been quite the opposite of that. And let's just start from the top of this, man. Like we end up right where we left off, and we see Wolverine still hurt. You know what I'm
That ain't the
saying?
hurt ain't the word, Jack. Dude,
Your man
incapacitated.
is even better word. So he's still on the table.
Mm-hmm.
Rogue was trying to, I guess talk to him. Say, hey, Suge,
Hey, sugar.
hold on
All
for me,
right.
baby. You know what I'm saying? But then we get the best part of this thing. I think this is probably one of the standout scenes, just moments of this entire series, and that is your boy Magneto and Charles Xavier, and they are having a they're having a literal meeting of the minds. You know what I'm saying? And it's just beautiful how he tries, because of course he's trying to get Magneto to restore the power to Earth. You know what I'm saying? And he does it, but he has to break him. He has to break him and then and build him back up in a matter of
Mm-hmm.
minutes, because it's also a ticking it's also a ticking clock, because the government is like, man, Magneto protocol.
Right.
You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna kill all these bastards on this little stupid asteroid he made out of the ocean's bed. But anyway,
Yeah.
they're having this conversation in his mind, and it's got to be like, I don't know, like the 50s or 60s, whatever, because they look young, and
Yeah.
they're talking in a bar, almost sort of like how they did in First Class,
Mm-hmm.
and they're talking about, and Magneto does not know anything right now. He is dumbfounded, like, who are you? What am I doing
Mm-hmm.
here? I don't know nothing. I
Mm-hmm.
can't remember anybody. And Professor X is just kind of trying to walk him through, hey, you're Magneto, you have these memories, this, that, and the third. And Magneto really isn't being receptive at first. But then he realizes, you know what I'm saying, like, oh snap, like I'm Magneto, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And all that. And then the way the memory works is almost like a dream sequence too, at the same time, because we see like water start to rise, and he's literally about to be drowned in his own memory. And that's basically the analogous version of them like getting closer to death in the real world, because Magneto has to has his memory restored in order for both of them to survive. And I think that right there was it was interesting. Like I was low key wondering if they was going to do onslaught, because that's how it happened in the
Right.
comics or whatever. But I was
Right.
like, okay, I'm cool with this. I'm cool with not having onslaught, because everything else they gave us the rest of the episode, boy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. my first impression of this episode of Rashad is simply this. Not only was it, I think, beautifully done and everything, man, cameos on top of cameos on top of cameos on top of cameos.
So many cameos.
I'm gonna tell you, I think Rashad, you and me both know where in about not next season, but season after next, if there is a third season, which I pray to God there is, what this is about to lead up to. Because you notice who all the people in the cameos were.
Avengers.
The Avengers. You had
something we want to see in the real world.
I think eventually this is going to end up Avengers versus X-Men. You saw Iron Man, Captain America talking with, on the presidential council as they were trying to decide what's going on. You saw T'Challa chime in and be like, "Hey, chill out, man. Let them do the thing. Let the mutants do what they got to do. Whatever. Don't send that bomb or attack." You also saw ground level MCU characters. Man, Cloak and Dagger was not on my
I didn't even
2000
catch the Cloak and Dagger, yo.
Cloak and Dagger wasn't on my 2024 or my X-Men 97 bingo card. Cloak and Dagger.
We even got Peter Parker and Mary Jane.
Peter Parker and Mary Jane. You got Daredevil. You got the crew that Omega Red rose with in Russia. I can't think of their names. The name of that crew right now with that. I mean, you can't even name. I have to go back and watch it again, probably several times, to see all of the cameos that were all over this episode here. But like you said, the main battle going on in this episode, you would think would be, the X-Men versus Bastion. It wasn't. It was Charles trying to piece Magneto's mind back together after he broke him. And he had to break him because he told him, dude, you have got to bring power back. And Magneto was like, no, he was like, all these mutants you say you're trying to help, my guy. So you're trying to help all these mutants. Why? What's going to happen to them? Magneto said, evolution will take its course. Evolution will basically take its course or whatever. And you're just like, and Charles is like, hey man, I'm sorry, I got to do this. And he basically shuts him off and is able to take control of his mind, and he shuts down the planet. He, brings everything back up to the planet. But Bastion is like, he knew that this was going to happen. So he's all amped and he's like, yeah, baby. He said, y'all play right into my plan or whatever. You see like Jean Grey is drowning. Bastion has captured with the Sentinels, all the other X-Men. Cable is like broken at the fact that he is the reason why Jean Grey, Jean Grey is basically like maybe dead or whatever. And Bastion starts talking trash to Cable. And he was like, time traveler, you think you was going to stop me? Hey, question. How many times have you seen me destroy Genosha, kill your mother and them? And then Cable won't talk it. And, he's still under Sinister's control. He was like, answer him. And he's like, 200. Cable has tried to stop this man 200 times from trying to stop Genosha to happen and to keep Madeline Pryor. Do you know what type of psychological damage that would do to somebody?
It's a crazy Groundhog Day, y'all.
And then Bastion takes it a step further. And it's like, yeah, the Genosha incidents happened like 4,000. Did he say like 4,000 times or something like that?
Something ridiculous. I don't even remember.
Something ridiculous. Yeah. I destroyed Genosha like 4,000 times. Well, I was like, what? What? It's like, this man is just completely like out of his mind. And his mother is partly to blame for it. Partly to blame for it. Because Bastion is basically a mutant, but he has Nimrod programming in him from whatever happened.
Yeah.
And his mother basically told him, like, I think Charles Xavier was trying to take him away or something like, something like that. But it kind of found out Charles Xavier was like, yo, man, I was trying to help the kid, help the kid out. But lo and behold, Rashad, when everything looks bleak, because remember he called even the Sentinel, the Prime Sentinels came back online, and he had the Prime Sentinel came and they was getting ready to the Prime. He was because Bastion was like, yeah, I see what got to go on here. I'm just gonna take over the whole entire world. The Prime Sentinels came back online. He sent them to the White House, the damn corner of the president. He sent them all around the world, scooping up folk, and he had some about to get ready to kill Cable. But lo and behold, who comes out the woodworks to save the day, Rashad? Jean
The
Grey of Phoenix. And she still, for whatever reason, has some type of connection to the Phoenix Force.
Yo, Tony, so do you think she can control the Phoenix now?
I'm gonna say
I'm
she
just
has gained some. I'm gonna say
something
she's
like
gained
that.
some
It's gotta,
control,
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
some control where she can summon it, but she still kind of, because you saw she still kind of like, I don't have it no more or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
Thank you. But
yeah,
she said I
yeah,
didn't
yeah,
have it
yeah.
before. But did you see how like Storm eyes lit up? Like, you done messed up there. My home girl, you done messed up. You done messed up there. She came out that water, and I loved how they made her look as the Phoenix too. That like she
Yeah.
was all flames and fire, and she basically shut everything down. And she was able to rebuild the little neuralizer thing that he built for him, and they put it on his head, and and all the Prime Sentinels basically shut down. And hey, looked like everything was cool. What she did to Sinister though was, good God, I know there was so much pleasure in what she did to Sinister. She held Sinister up in the air and said, you basically have taken DNA from all these mutants to put into himself, because Sinister's not really a mutant.
Nah, he's just a
He's
scientist.
just a geneticist, and he's
Yeah.
basically taking genetic DNA from all these and they're putting it into himself just to prolong his life and everything. And she basically stripped all of that DNA out of him. Destroyed it. And he came down looking like the Elephant Man. He was crazy looking. Morph is childish as hell. He looked.
Yo, man,
How
so
does my how does my face look? Morph said, "Oh, like he turned into him, dude." I know that felt so relieving for Morph to do that too, considering
Yeah, cause
besides Jean Grey,
yeah,
Morph has suffered the most
definitely,
from
man.
Sinister.
It was looking to get some retribution, yo. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yo, Tony. So after the whole scene with all of them, right? They think that, oh yeah, we about to get Bastion. Oh
Mm-hmm.
nah.
No,
Yo, Tony.
my man. Go ahead,
Tony.
man.
Bastion proceeds to wash them so bad. This man rips off Cable's arm and
His metallic
proceeds
arm.
to smack the hell out of him with it. He was getting pimp slapped with his own hand so many times, yo.
Disrespectful.
I was like,
Disrespectful.
yo, and then Bastion merged himself with his arm, seeing how he
Mm-hmm.
had the technovirus basically in his
Mm-hmm.
body, and then he comes into
Mm-hmm.
his final form, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh,
Mm-hmm.
he about to kill him.
I also thought that he was merging so he could have power over the time, slip communications thing that, Cable has, but evidently that wasn't the case. But but man,
That would have been
his
dope
final
too.
form, his final form was nasty as I don't know what, dude, for real.
Yeah, your man made like looking like the human version of Starscream. You know what I'm saying? So he ends up going into space. Like, man, I'm out of here, guys. Let me go back to asteroid M,
And I'm gonna
and
destroy it.
I'm just gonna destroy that, and I'm gonna send y'all back to the ice age, basically. And they're like, oh snap. So all of them
Mhm.
are on the ship. It's like, man, we about to go. We about to, everybody hop into the little, to the jet. And Eric
Yeah.
and Magneto are still kind of trying to go through their thing and get him back right.
Mhm.
And we just see him coming out. We see that man coming out of the daggone atmosphere.
Full speed ahead.
A bat out of hell. And they're like, oh snap. Why is he back here? Go ahead with what
And,
Gene
and,
did.
and so because Gene had let Scott know ahead of time, hey, this dude is coming. We can't stop this dude. And in the process, Charles is like talking because Magneto and Xavier are both unresponsive, but Charles is still able to communicate, you know what I'm saying, through his telepathy in the other realm that he's in. And he's like, hey man, we gotta stop this dude. Rogue made something perfectly clear. Rogue said when she saw Bastion coming, she says, wait a minute. You trying to tell me Storm and Jean couldn't stop him? What the hell are we gonna do? Because Storm and Jean are Omega level mutants. And they're like, what the hell are we gonna do against this? Or whatever. And it was like, well, and basically, Rogue, she went on a blitz, yo. She did what happens in a boxing match when a fighter is losing and it's the 12th round, and they say, you god damn. Damn. Hold on. And they said, and he in the corner, and the corner man says, what, Rashad? You gotta knock him out in order to win
Gotta
this
knock
fight.
him out. That's a good analogy.
Rogue just straight. He gets on the ship. She steals on him with a combo and then said his name was Gambit. Remember it. And she proceeds to blitz the hell out of Bastion. I mean, she was dog walking him like full speed ahead. Just and I was like, let's go, Rogue. Get your payback. The whole time this is going on in my mind, I'm also saying to myself, where the hell are the rest of y'all mutants at? Y'all should be jumping this day. You know what I'm saying? While he down, y'all should be jumping him. But hey, it's a show. We get it. You need you know what I'm saying?
Stakes.
Something, stakes or whatever. She's beating the brakes off of him. And then after she like drops this dude, she's like, yeah. This dude kind of just gets up and puts his jaw back together.
Yeah, she
Every
sent that man to the moon though.
Yeah, and you know that area, that's the same area that the X-Men had fought the Shi'ar Empire in that fight in the 90s
Yeah, that's
version. What's
like
like the blue side or dark side of the moon or whatever.
yeah, that's
They fought because
apocalypse base on the
yeah,
moon
right.
too. Yeah, yeah.
Beat the brakes, and I mean, she knocked him from the asteroid down in there, and they still rumbling. And then he's like, "Yeah, all right, cool." And then he proceeds to like put them paws on her.
It was funny because like she thought she had him right. So I'm gonna charge
Mm-hmm.
you again. Your man basically like teleported behind her and was just choking her.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Yeah.
good old Sunspot comes through and they hit him with a 2v1, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like
He was
that
because
that
he could. Yeah,
yeah, right, you're right,
I
Tom.
don't know.
You can
Yeah,
I'm drinking water.
you know, something caught in your throat, but I'm
No, all
cool.
right. Oh,
Yeah.
pause. Yeah, but anyway, like we see them fighting, and man, and they go end up going back to like because again, Eric and Magneto are still trying to get he's still trying to get his mind right, and
They're working things out, you know.
it working things out definitely, man. So they go and they go end up. Boy goes back to the ship, right?
Mm-hmm.
Bastion goes back to the ship after he watches Sunspot and Rogue, and he ends up meeting up with Mystique, and it's basically Mystique is just bamfing him back and forth throughout the
Not mis-
ship. Oh, my
not
man, not
Nightcrawler.
Mystique, Nightcrawler. I'm sorry, guys. I'm so
His
excited.
mammy. His
Night,
mammy.
yeah, it is. Yeah, this is a moment. Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
Nightcrawler and Mystique are fighting Bastion, And
Why you keep saying
I
Mystique?
don't know, man. I hate Mystique as a character, yo. That's like the worst character, man. I hate Mystique. Nightcrawler. So all right,
Uh-huh.
let's start over. So
Uh-huh.
Nightcrawler catches up with Bastion as he gets
Mm-hmm.
back to the ship, and he's bathing back and forth with Nightcrawler,
Mm-hmm.
and then your girl Jubilee shows up too. You know what I'm saying? And they kind of
Yeah.
going, and Jubilee kind of stepped her game up ever since the Motino episode too, because then they
Mm-hmm.
just because Bastion told Bastion
He
told
played in
her.
her. He
He said
played in her face, yo, for real.
she said, "Look, what are you gonna 4th of July me to death?"
He's like, "Go 4th of July, be to death." And she said, "Heard that?" She says, "You know how many times I heard that?" And she
Oh
just
man,
because I'm gonna tell you, Jubilee, I think thought her powers was what it was, but in that Motendo, when she saw
the future of
the
her.
the future version of her, she was like, "Oh, I learned all this." She learns that she has like a lot of power that's still hidden in her that she ain't developed yet. But man, yeah, she was starting to get them
She was
things
doing
too.
her thing, man. Like I'm glad
Mm-hmm.
because like Jubilee usually be like the wackest character, and he hit him. She hit him so hard where basically her little her sparks were like blades, and
Mm-hmm.
they cut his face, and your man was out here looking
Mm-hmm.
like Harvey Dent. You know what I'm saying?
He was,
In the
yeah.
face. So I was like, oh
Mm-hmm.
snap, little Two Face shout out there. And he
Mm-hmm.
couldn't do that whole thing where he just like reanimated, and that kind of stuck him in that form for the most part, for what it
Mm-hmm.
looks like to me.
Mm-hmm.
And probably the funniest thing that happened in this show, because back on Earth, um, your boy Hank and Forge are trying to figure out how to reverse the stuff or whatever. And these bastards made controls in a Sentinel, flew to Asteroid M and stomps your man.
Well, remember, he thought the signal. He said, "Hey," because Bastion was like, he says, because Bastion was like, "Hey, you can't deny the future." He says, "I am the future," and he said, "Lo and behold," and a signal was coming, and he was like, "Yeah." Next thing you know, that signal said, "Bitch," he was like, "Oh." And the chest plate opened up, and this beast in them, and they were like, I said, that is funny. They found a way to get up here to help their boys, and
And
they
this,
started putting.
and yo, like Beast has so many corny one-liners this episode. He said, "The Trojans did like horses."
Yeah,
It's like, oh, and
yeah.
irony, and irony. I was like, man, shut up.
And the
All right,
irony,
yo.
yeah. I was like, shut up, you idiot, whatever, like that.
Nah,
Also, too, there was a before that happened, there was a nice little battle between Cyclops and Bastion,
I was about to say
because
that too.
Cyclops
Yeah.
Cyclops eye beams are really powerful for real. Like they're not like laser beams, but they're concussive, saying concussive blasts. And I mean he was, he was sticking with, Bastion. Damn it. Until
Yeah, he's thinking a little bit. But
he was sticking with Bastion too until all that stuff happened. Yeah.
yeah, and the funny thing too, like after they figured out, like, yo, we just gonna beat this bastard together. And I just love how they were trying to reason with him first though. They was like, yo, like, how about you just chill? You know what I'm saying? And we figure it all out. But then he was like, "Oh, nah, I don't care about you, goofy bastards, and you want to be with kumbaya, nah." And
Mm-hmm.
then at all this at the same time, the nukes going off, and they was like, you know what, forget it. So nukes hit
So
the.
question.
Go ahead.
Question. So when the nukes hit, Jean puts the shield around the X-Men to make sure that they are safe. And Bastion is stuck outside.
True.
Cyclops said, help. He says, yo, give me a hand, man. I'll help you. And he was like he was gonna reach, but then
Yeah,
he said,
he
nah.
not. I think he tried to reach, but that by that point the blast sucked him back out.
Okay, yeah, so what happened to him? Because I'm confused. Because at first I said,
Don't know what happens to him. That's the beauty
because
of
it
it.
looked like, I'm gonna tell you what it looked like to me at first. It looked like somehow they had some technology where those blasts created like a mini black hole. And I thought it was going to implode
Yeah.
everything. But it looked like he got sucked into something. Damn.
I mean, he
It
could
looked it
have.
like it.
He,
Yeah.
he could have got enveloped in something because we already know that the other people they got sucked in the timeline. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, but then that happened when the whole thing just imploded.
Right.
But when it comes to Bastion, to be honest, is still he's still a loose thread. Like
Yeah.
we're gonna assume he's dead, but we already know the rule. Ain't no body. You gotta have a body for
Ain't
death.
nobody
Wow.
to be better.
Anyway, so we need to see what happens to Bastion for real. But
Yeah.
but they end up saving the day, like the whole thing is falling, and
Uh-huh.
Magneto wakes up, and
Yeah.
he ends up, releasing himself and all the his magnetism, and brings the thing back, excuse me, brings the thing back into the air, and
Right.
then it implodes, and then you
Because
don't see
even the
nobody no
planet,
more.
people of planet Earth thought they failed. Remember, they
Oh
was
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah. It was like, oh well,
because they was like, oh damn,
hey,
we
y'all get
shot
ready for,
those rockets and
and
it
they ain't really
didn't,
hit. You know what I'm saying? It
it
ain't hit
ain't
like we
really
used
work.
to. So
Yeah.
again, because you already know humanity. What we gonna do? We're gonna blow it up, and that's gonna work. That's
Right.
our answer for everything.
Also, too,
And
you see where they tried to stop it. They was trying. The X-Men were like,
oh, they were trying their
Scott
best
was
to
going to
stop.
stay behind. He
They
was
were
like, I'm
trying
gonna
to.
stay behind and blow this thing up with my eye beams, and I love that scene because Jean was like, "Yo, you gonna die?" He was like, "Man, you done it so many times for us, yo." He says, "I might as well go ahead and sacrifice myself." But then Beast was like, "Hold on, there's a way it can happen. We all got to work together, and basically we're all gonna die." It was like we're all gonna kind of die type thing,
No, but the
and
cool thing
so
about that too was like before they did all that, they had a scene with
Cyclops.
Cyclops,
Mm-hmm.
Jean, and Nathan, and they had a real heartwarming
One
scene. It
arm
was,
Willie, yo.
yeah, that's not fair. So they're talking, man. They had this just look. I loved you, dog. Like my dad did me dirty too. I didn't want to be like my
Uh-huh.
dad, but I ended up being like my dad anyway. I just wanted to
Mm-hmm.
protect you. You were sick, and Gene ends up calling him, his son, her son, or whatever, and that was real
Uh-huh.
heartwarming for them
Mm-hmm.
because right after that, Cyclops. I mean, it was epic. Even though it didn't work, it was still was so epic. Like Cyclops threw
Mm-hmm.
his visors off and went
Mm-hmm.
full blast on the reactor, yo, and
Yeah.
it was so good. Like that whole, even though it was in failure, it just was a
Uh-huh.
really dope scene.
Also, we saw too as well. While Wolverine is still like out of commission, like, but who stayed by his bedside? Morph, and you could hear even earlier. He was sitting there in bedside. He was like, rather than paying Cyclops on, he bent down. He says, "Don't you do this to her." He says, "Don't you?" And he was telling Wolverine, "Don't he die on Jean because he knows how much he loved Jean or whatever." But later on, like I said, when everything seemed bleak, Morph was there, the bedside, and you hear Wolverine say, "Jeannie," like in under his breath, and then he was like, "She's not here to say it, but I'll say it." And Morph transforms into Jean Grey and tells Wolverine, "I love you." So
Yo, that man was acting like your homie from the boys with what you call it, Homelander.
yeah,
So, because I mean, like we already said, like Morph wants
yeah,
some of that Wolverine. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. Mm-hmm.
that's clearly what this is. But of course, you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying, Wolverine loves his friend or whatever. So
Yeah.
the meter is still going down. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Magneto wakes up. And oh yeah, and in this whole thing, as they're trying to, use all their collective energy, what you call it ends up falling out. Jubilee ends up falling off. Sunspot catches her
Yes.
and brings her back to the
Mm-hmm.
ground, and he's talking to Valerie and Rogue, and and the media's still going down. But after that, we see the actual explosion of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we see the explosion of it, and we think that we don't know what happened to anybody,
Mm-hmm.
so to speak. But after that, there's so everybody's happy on Earth and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
it didn't. We're not going to be going to the ice ages. Yes, which is a good
Yeah.
thing and all that.
And the news reporter, he was like, it's been a month that's passed.
Yeah,
The
time
news
jump.
reporter
Yeah,
comes in, time jump. He says a month has passed since the X-Men saved the planet and everything. And then the worst fears happen too. You hear the news report, but they say Creed what's the guy named Creed? Which is Sabretooth's son, the one
yeah,
that's not a mutant. He is basically taking leads in the poll for president because of what the current president, people did not like the fact that he did that to shoot the blast the thing down. So you got this guy coming up, but you got at the X mansion, it's locked up. There's like memorials set up outside. Forge is
yeah,
inside the X mansion,
bro.
and he has like photos of all the mutants and stuff like that. It looks like the cover art for Days of Future Past,
Yo,
the
I'll
comic
tell.
book.
Matter of fact, I'll tell you, everybody. It's ironic. I'm watching episode as we're talking, and I'm right there. Let's just go over some
Uh-huh.
people that's on this joint. We got. Hold
Okay,
on,
go
hold
ahead.
on. So we got. We got Scott. So we
Mm-hmm.
got everybody that was on the shuttle is declared missing, presumed dead. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Also have
Scar.
so everybody that was at this: Cyclops, Jean Grey,
Mm-hmm.
Storm, Xavier, etc. Scarlet
Mm-hmm.
Witch is off world.
Off world.
We got Colossus up there.
Mm-hmm.
We got
He's still that he apparently he's still alive and
he's
well.
still alive. We got who else? Let me go back to that. We got that was fast. We got Kitty Pride.
Mm-hmm.
We got who else? It's a bunch of other people up here too. I can't get it to where I need to go. But yeah, it's a whole wall of just potential season two. Like it could be like some sort of like Generation X. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
On the X-Men team, not really X-Force, but like probably just because
Yeah.
there's a lot of newer people. So like we can easily have Tony.
Because Jubilee was still up on the thing too, and Sunspot, because they still
Yeah,
there.
they still there. We can have like you realize we can have four separate X-Men team. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Let's explain the next scene. So we got
Mm-hmm.
time jump, and then boom, we see Rogue. And
Not yet, not yet,
my,
not
my
yet,
bad,
not
my
yet,
bad, my bad, my bad.
not
Go
yet.
ahead. Go ahead, son.
Forge is in there looking at the thing. Who walks in and sneaks up on Forge?
Oh, my bad, my bad.
Bishop.
Bishop shows back up because he's been MIA
Back
this whole
up.
season too.
MIA. Bishop shows back up. Forge pulls the blicky out and is like, yo, don't you know it's bad to roll up on somebody's house? Because he has no idea who he is. And he's like, it's okay, man, Forge. Look, man, you don't know me yet, but we're gonna be great friends in the future. And he's like,
Definitely.
what the hell are you talking about? He was like, he says, I'm here to help you. And we're gonna help each other. And we're gonna figure this thing out to find out what's up with the X-Men. He says, we've been through this so many times before. It's cool. So you was like, oh snap. So this is how they first met. Because in the cartoon, we've always seen where Bishop is in the future
Future helping
and
it. Yeah,
helping
yeah.
Forge or whatever, but you never really saw how this happened and whatnot. So then we get a a scene that says 3000 BC, and you see Rogue, and Rogue is like, "The hell are we at?" But she
Uh-huh.
sees like she sees pyramids and like Egyptian soldiers attacking people. She goes to help out. They surround her. Her brother comes along, Nightcrawler. He bamps around and stuff like that. And we like, you good? Yeah. And then the next thing you know, who do we see? Is it Charles? Charles with them? Charles is with him. And then also Beast is with him.
Yeah.
And they look and they see one person cornered. But before you see what happens with that, it's another time jump.
Oh yeah,
3,000.
Magneto with him too.
Yeah, Magneto was. So you see it's like 3,900 years into the
60.
future, 60 or something like that. It's like in the future. And it still looks like Egypt, but this time you have Cyclops and Jean Grey.
Yeah.
And they're the only ones there, right? If I'm not mistaken, in that location.
Yeah, they own people
They're
that
the only
there.
ones there at that location, and they're trying to figure out where the hell are they at. And then next thing you know, you see like these people coming out, look like they're nomads almost. And she's like, yo, y'all be easy. Everything's gonna be cool, blah, 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 and this and that. And she says, and then she was like, we're all right. And then she says, Nathan, come out and help. And we see young Cable. And you see Jean and Cyclops are like, oh my God. It was like, it's him. Then you go back to 3000 BC and you see where Magneto and them, they help this one person being attacked by these guards, and they're trying to communicate with them. And Charles is talking to telepathically, and Magneto was like, yo, chill, man, blah, blah, blah. We're here to help you and stuff like this. Where are you know what I'm saying? How you doing? What and when we first saw him earlier, I saw him when they showed him first time. I said, I know that's not who I think it is.
I said, yes, that is him.
I said, I know that's not who I think it is. I said, I know it's who it is, but I know it's not. My man removed, he said, what is your name? He removed this thing. You saw that mouth? And he said the name, in Sabanor. I said, Lord have mercy. We about to get Age of Apocalypse.
Tony. We get
roll credits.
And then after that, we get a post credit.
Uh-huh.
And
current time
Genosha. And it's like back at the scene, Apocalypse, a regular Apocalypse shows up talking about some picks up a card, and it's a Queen of Hearts. And basically, it's put here is a whole lot of death. And you already know he about to get Gambit, about to have a full horse in the apocalypse.
Gambit is about to be resurrected, y'all, and become one of the four members of his apocalypse. If you didn't know, that's what happens.
Tony. So listen, we're gonna have four separate teams. We're gonna say Generation X. We're gonna have the Future team. We're gonna have the Age of Apocalypse team, and then we're gonna have an alternate future team of Wolverine and
we ain't
Storm.
See Wolverine and we ain't see Wolverine, Storm, and Morph. So I
think Wolverine, Storm, and Morph are gonna be in the same future that was in like season 2 or 3.
Yes,
that they had that one-off episode where they end up, you know what I'm saying? They might they might actually do that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
because it still hasn't been we need to explain how this time jump happened where they all went to different, you know what I'm saying, time periods. We still need to figure out how that happened, because man, let me tell you something. This show was fantastic, bro.
Great show, man.
I text Rashad and all I said was, this show is effing awesome.
Effing awesome. Yo, I mean, it's been so good, man. Like, it's everything. And I mean, even on, like, let's say, like the not so action-packed episodes, those ones were still good. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hate being hyperbolic, but I'm not. This really exceeded expectations.
Yes.
At best, I just hopes it would kind of, like I said from the whole time, I hope this show captures the essence of the OG series with modern sensibilities, and they definitively have mastered it. Like, knocks it right out the park here. Like, I don't even understand how they did it this well. This is legitimately one of the better things that Marvel has produced in the past like 4 or 5 years. And it's animation. Like, I mean, bro, like, this is so, like, This is
Because I'm gonna tell
so
you,
good.
my expectations were low, but I was excited for the nostalgia to see with this series what they were going to do with it. Because I was like, I wonder what they're going to do with it. You know what I'm saying? It probably is not going to be as how I thought great as the original series was, but we'll see what happens. This to me has surpassed the original series.
So far, I put
And the
like this.
original series was
I've been rewatching the original series,
uh
like me and Nia been rewatching it, and I'm like, boy,
uh
like some of this is not really great. You know what I'm saying? Like some of it
right.
is just seen through our like childlike nostalgic eyes.
Yeah.
But yeah, this far exceeds the OG series,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
yeah, it's just good storytelling,
And the
man.
thing I think that's helping it why it has is because the original series, a lot of it was done out of order and stuff was just kind of like boom, 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 this
And
and that
then
right
like
here.
a lot of it was
This
done
is
under a lot of like restraints and budgets, and yeah,
mm-hmm. Yeah.
they had to make,
This
do the best they
they
can.
and the fact that they actually were able to create a new series while still paying homage and respect and showing that the past previous series is a part of this is amazing.
And this is the best continuation of a thing that I've seen from a older property to a modern
Mm-hmm.
property. I think this
Yeah.
is one of the best like ways that
Yeah.
they could have done it. Cause a lot of times it's like a goofy reimagining or it's a
Yeah.
reboot, or they'll try to say, hey, like here's some elements of it, but this is a brand new thing. And this really
Because
it works.
because let's keep it real, Rashad. Marvel animation has not been really good compared to DC animated movies and shows and stuff like that. It hasn't.
Nah.
X-Men was the X-Men and Amazing Spider-Man. By the way, they had Peter Parker and Mary Jane from the Amazing Spider-Man in this thing or whatever.
And they had Doctor
In this
Strange.
thing. And Doctor Strange performing surgery with the stuff or whatever. So you that was the only thing we could hang our head on with Spider-Man and that or whatever. But the other stuff really wasn't that great.
Yeah, they
But
had
the fact,
a couple of Avengers series that were pretty decent, a couple of Iron Man, but like
yeah, you know what I
never
was
was
going to
on
measure
par.
this up to for the new I was going to measure it up to the What If because I thought What If was
What
like
if was good? What if was good?
top tier,
But this is what
maybe a
if.
prisoner of the moment.
This is X-Men
Okay, I'm not.
7.
Yeah, okay, I mean, like I said, I may be a prisoner of the moment.
What if season 3? They got a lot of heavy lifting to do. Like if they, I
Yes,
mean, I'm just saying, if you want to
yeah,
compare yourself to yourself, they got a lot of heavy lifting to do because this right here,
you
man,
you know
good.
the motto we live by from being in office state. You're only as good as your last performance.
Man, and they got it. And I really hope that they saw what the X-Men team did. And on top
Mm-hmm.
of that, they allow them to make better stories, which I think they
Yeah.
are. Because even with the Kalani episode and the other couple episodes they did with season 2 or whatever, they were
Mm-hmm.
those were like the better episodes were the ones that they can kind of like sway far away from the
Yeah.
MCU stuff that we already have. But yeah, this has
Yeah.
been a good time, man. I can't lie.
Eh,
I am very sad that this is gonna be our last episode for this, man. But yo,
yeah. Yeah, like I
great
said, man,
time.
like I said when we first started doing this and we did the preview for this, and I was like, yo, I have a special place in my heart and affinity for the X-Men. I love the X-Men. And I was like, when the first movie came out, I was excited because I was like, oh, I liked it because of what it was, but I was just like, this is not really my X-Men, but hey, it's a movie. You can't do a lot of stuff you do in the comics and stuff like that. And I'm gonna say it again, even though it's gonna happen. We know that the X-Men are going to join the MCU. We've already seen previews of that from the Marvels. If something happens where they're like, yeah, we're not going to put the X-Men in the MCU, if they keep giving me X-Men this animated series, I am here for it.
Yeah.
I am here. And if they keep giving me this and they keep giving me this type of quality, I am here for it. So
Yeah, I
yeah.
am, but I'm not. I need to make a fire ass movie ASAP. So
Right.
that's what
That's
I
what I
hope
said. I
that
want a
I know I'm
fire
just joking.
movie.
I'm joking. I'm hoping that I'm also hoping that the creatives that they bring to the table, that they allow them to actually tell a very compelling story. And to be honest,
Mm-hmm.
that starts with Fantastic Four. I'm gonna
Yes.
engage a lot of the rest of Phase Six based off how well do they pull off the Fantastic Four, because it's a known property. It had
Mm-hmm.
two other movie franchises for that already, and X-Men is basically the same way because they had it OG, then they rebooted it and tried to make it all at the same time. Yada, Simon Kinberg, and your boy who will ever remain nameless. Like they really tried their best to integrate it. So now we see what they could do. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Now I want to see what we can do based off of what we have currently. And I really think that they're going to do like a really good job at it. Like I don't
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah,
Yeah. So
that's all I got, man.
I mean, yeah.
Tony, like I feel
Okay.
like we need to talk about some other stuff, man. But like it's so much it's oh yeah, because the reason why we probably like I don't know. I gotta see if I got time tomorrow because
Okay.
TV upfronts is this week. And that's why if you notice, there's been an uptick in a lot of TV related drops been
Trailers and stuff.
happening, trailers and stuff because of upfronts.
Yeah.
And it's just a lot of stuff that's dropped this week that we kind of might want to talk about, but we'll let y'all know either
Okay.
way. But
We'll let
yeah,
y'all know.
man. You got
Yeah.
anything
Yeah,
else?
we got so no, we did this. Like you said, TV upfronts. Check out our Planet of the
Kingdom of
Apes
Planet of the
review.
Apes review, yo.
Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes
That was an
review.
hour 15. I was not expecting that. But yeah,
I wasn't.
we really went in depth with
Yeah.
that movie and talked about it.
Yeah. Also, we're not done with X-Men talk.
Oh
Me
no,
and
no, no,
Rashad. Me and
we got
Rashad, like I said,
not
I
at
think we said
all.
we've done our own fantasy casting of who we would like to see in the MCU play X-Men characters or whatever. I'm officially finished now, Rashad. So whenever we want to do
Yeah,
this, I'm
well,
cool.
we got like when it's a dry week, we'll drop it in there.
Yes, a draft. We'll
Yeah,
drop
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
also look out for Furiosa. The Furiosa review we're gonna do.
Yes, doing that's gonna be what's today's day? That's gonna be on the 27th. We're gonna drop it on the
Yeah.
27th. Prepare for that. After that, June 4th. What happens June 4th, Tony?
Oh, the Acolyte.
Acolyte starts June 4th. What happens
Mm-hmm.
June 16th?
House of the Dragons.
Yeah. And as you already know, that has a very special place in our hearts on this show. That's the one that
Mm-hmm.
really made us serious about doing this as a
Yes.
team. And
Mm-hmm.
I cannot wait. We probably will do some sort of like recap episode just so we can get y'all back up to snuff. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? We can get these. Okay. Especially if you just joined in the last year, like
Yeah.
we're gonna recap you on how we saw the season. You know what I'm saying? So like I just so when the season starts, you just be up on all the stuff. If you don't want to go back
Right.
and watch it, which you should go back watch the whole Game of Thrones. We got it. It's on the channel. But if you want a
Yeah.
good recap of just how we saw the season and what it was, definitely stay tuned for that.
Yeah.
Man, it's gonna be we eating
We
good this
made some.
whole summer, boy.
Right. And then coming in July, Wolverine, Deadpool, and Wolverine coming up. I mean, it's a lot of stuff about to kick up and kick in here. And it was, I'm saying it kind of was a dry last year, of course, because of the strike and everything
Yeah.
and whatnot. But boy, oh boy, we here.
Definitely. And like
We here.
in between, we might just do like a quick episode just talking about some of the other stuff we watching that we're not actually covering, but just just for our
Right.
own pleasure. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's
So what's
really
just a quick question, Rashad? What's some stuff that you're watching that we aren't really covering, like maybe right now?
I started watching an anime called Windbreaker.
Okay.
That's pretty decent. It's on Max, I think.
Okay.
I could be lying. I don't know. I'm lying. It's not on Max. I just found it online. But
It's
but
somewhere.
it's a
It's somewhere.
yeah, it's somewhere you can find it, guys. It's a new joint. That's been pretty decent. I also, because I've been asked you several times, I'm watching what's the name of that anime?
Demon Slayer.
Shut up, y'all. You ain't watching that yet. You
I know
playing games. Don't
I
talk
need
to
to
me,
find
yo.
time.
No,
Oh wow.
no, because I've been told you about that. I'm watching Jujutsu Kaisen, and I'm going back and
Okay,
watching
I
that.
want to start watching it because I know there's a lot of hype about that show.
Yeah, I'm on like episode 5, and it's like for me because I tried to start watching it like last year, but I was like, man,
Mhm.
no, I'm good. But episode 5, I'm in, and like, okay, like I see what the vision is, and I'm gonna grind that season out too on my spare time.
I want to see it only to get a better understanding of domain expansion.
Definitely saw it yesterday. I was like, oh yeah, that's crazy, yo. But
But it
nah,
was
man,
just
like that's in like now I'm like 5 episodes in. It's really starting to get like interesting. They did a lot of that first 2 episodes is like it's heavy exposition. You know what I'm saying? They really trying to explain the world.
30 minutes.
Yeah, just regular anime time, like 22
Okay.
minutes, regular TV series. It's 24 episodes, so I'm taking my
Yeah.
time. But yeah,
Cool. I got
other
you.
than
I
that,
got you.
I ain't watching
Me, I'm
nothing else.
watching Interview with a Vampire. You know, season 1 was fantastic. Watching this new season, season first episode of season 2 just dropped this past Sunday. Been good so far. Let's see what happens. Go from there. Another show that I'm going to watch. I can't believe I'm about to say this publicly that I actually am a fan of. You can blame my former girlfriend at the time for me watching this show. Bridgerton.
No, man, don't be ashamed. Don't be
New
ashamed of
season of
Bridgerton. Yeah, I heard they got
New season of Bridgerton coming out. So
yeah. They've been wrapping up the promotion for that like crazy. I've
yeah,
been seeing it around. But no, yo, Bridget like Keisha like watching Bridgerton too. A lot of people watch Bridgerton. I got a couple of homeboys that watch it too. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? They I
So
don't know they watching it for the same reason the girls are, but they definitely watching it though. But
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Shout
that's
out to
really
Shonda
it,
Rhimes.
man. Yeah. Shonda Land, you know what I'm saying? Got that
Yeah,
300 mil from Netflix. Make them stories, girl.
yeah.
Make them
Pretty much.
stories. See how ABC didn't want you. So
But
that's all we got for this one. Definitely stay tuned all the stuff. Follow us on all of our socials: YouTube, IG, Facebook, TikTok. Podcast people, we love y'all too. Apple Podcast, Spotify, and wherever you get your RSS feeds through. Other than that, man, we will see you guys next time.